Hi everyone, my name's George. Well, I have a short minute of time, so I'm going to get right to the chase here. My first one was in a car accident. I rolled my car over 8 to 9 times end for end, and it was it was a moment of slow motion. I was in the car, and everything was slow motion, and I could hear the glass breaking. I could hear the car crunching down on top of me, and then the moment came where I saw the white light. But when I started going towards the white light, a voice come into my head that says, "It's not your time yet. You need to go back." And then when I woke up, when I come to, I'm on the outside of the car, looking at the car, and I had no bodily injuries on me at all. I had a few scrapes on my arm, and I'm thinking about that. Well, that was kind of odd. And I looked at the car, it was totally demolished. But I realized it's not so much the experience I had, it's what I brought back with me from it. It was the downloads I received when I was there that really, really kind of intrigued me. It was kind of like, it was like I knew at that moment that time was irrelevant. It didn't mean anything. It slowed things down. So time to me just meant nothing, you know? And then I learned a couple other things. I was given little gifts. With my uncle was on a treadmill at the hospital, and I was painting his door somewhere totally different. I'm painting his door, and I had this vision in the door. I watched this person have the treadmill and die on the treadmill at the Concord Hospital. And it really startled me. I didn't know what to think about that. I said, "Oh, this can't be real." When I got home that night, this is before we had cell phones, it's all dial-up stuff. And my mom calls me and tells me my uncle died on the treadmill at the Concord Hospital. So I witnessed that as it was happening. And I'm thinking to myself, why was I shown this? It was just to awaken me to the fact that there is the other side. And it was like a prophecy, or whatever I could see, the future, whatever. I really didn't understand it. And that startled me. And I was drinking a little bit at the time, but I increased my drinking at that time because I didn't know what to do with this information. And the second one was I was a full-blown alcoholic at that time, and I was really going down. And I was in the darkness. And I had another out-of-body experience where I was at this party one night. I had gotten in a fight with this guy, the owner of the place, and I was asked to leave. And it was the middle of winter, and it was really cold outside. I had no shirt, my coat was inside and everything, and all of a sudden I see my body was I was out of my body, looking down at my body, and it was covered with blood laying in the snow. And Jesus was saying to me, because Jesus is the one who came to me the first time. Jesus said to me, "It's time for me to leave." And I said, "No, I can't leave. I have too much to do. I came here to do I have my mission still to do." And he says, "But you're wasting it." Because I was actively drinking and drugging so much, I was just wasting the time. And I said, "I'll change, I promise." Then he showed me a vision of what happened. He showed me knocking on the door trying to get back into this house because I was cold, and the man shooting through the door and killing me. And my body was laying in the snow. Then I reawoke. And then he showed me some other visions about the future plans of the world if things don't change. Now this happened in 1982, 83. And then I woke up, and I'm still freezing. It's still really bitter cold. So I went to the door and I knocked on the door, but I remembered what I saw. And I stepped to the side of the door instead of standing in front of the door, and I knocked, and he shot through the door. And that was showing me that anything is possible in the universe. So I was shown this because I agreed to do my journey. I agreed back to finish what I came to do, because I believe I signed up for this before I was born. And I met people I meet in my life, they come right on time because this is what I signed up for. And I'm supposed to be here because I signed up for this whole thing. I could go on to the other ones. The other one was a motorcycle accident. I laid my motorcycle down in an accident, and I didn't have a helmet on, and I hit my head really hard on the concrete, and then I went into the white. I went into the white, this white room, And again, this room was full of joy and happiness, and I had no fear, no nothing. It was like being the best place to ever meditate in my life because it was so quiet. And then they told me again, it was time. It wasn't my time. I needed to go back. Then I woke up. They rushed me to the hospital. I remember the doctor saying, "Well, I don't know if he's going to make it. I'm in the emergency room. He's got blood on the brain. I'm not sure what was going to do with this." And I remember hearing that, and I asked God, if it's my time, I'm totally ready to come home. But if not, you have to take care of this. They brought me back in to have another scan of my head, and the blood was gone, and there was nothing in there. And 2 hours later, I walked out of the hospital on my own steam. Granted, I was sore. I took a great impact from laying that motorcycle down. But again, I got more downloads about life and how things were transformed. And the second one, I had no longer been drinking. The second one gave me recovery. It gave me sobriety. It took away the drink and my drug addiction through God's help. God took away the obsessions. And this one here was about downloads about how to live life and how to live differently and how to love thyself and learn how to heal all the stuff that I needed to heal about me. And it's about becoming whole again, become in alignment with Spirit in Mother Earth. And they give me that information to work with myself so I may share it. And in 2014, I had a heart attack. And that was, to me, was a great heart opening because I learned how to love. I never knew how to, a lot of people, I never knew how to love people because I didn't really know how to love myself. And by doing all the work and forgiving myself and learning how to overcome fear, because fear is the culprit. Fear is what caused me not to be who I really was. And I learned these things through childhood. I learned these things through this earth so I can overcome them and to learn my lessons so I can help other people. To share what I've learned to my own stuff, to my alcoholism, to my fears, to my abuses that when I was young, all this stuff I learned so I could be of use to the world. And now, here I am. I'm speaking at this conference, and I really kind of dragged my feet about doing this because I wasn't sure if I could do this. And Spirit says, I believe God, Jesus speaks to me. I talk to Jesus all the time, and he says, I'm always with you. Don't be afraid. Just go up and do it. So here I am, sharing my experience, strength, and hope. Now, I think each and every one of us, we don't need to have these experiences in order to find what I have. Because we're all children of God. We all have this in us, and we're able to give this to ourselves because we're part of this. We're all connected. No one is better than anybody. It's just we're all one. Oneness with God, oneness with earth, and oneness with each other. We're here together to do a great thing, to share our strength, and to change the world as we see it. And for me, I didn't see heaven. He showed me heaven right here on earth. He showed me in an archway. Walking through the archway, Jesus is on the other side, and animals were laying down with each other and loving each other. Lions with tigers. Lions, tigers, and lambs together. And there was so much peace in that room, in that spot, that I could not say no, that yes, there is a heaven. And it says so in the prayer, the Lord's Prayer. Heaven on earth as well as in heaven. And it is here. Just going to get free of all that stuff that holds us back to it. Get centered and find the peace in ourselves to love each other as much as God loves us. And that's hard, right? It really is, because it's pretty tough out there. But I've learned if I could stay in the eye of the storm and stay in the light with God in that tunnel, right there, the direct contact, anything is possible in this world. And that's the journey for me. I'm not speaking for anybody else, but that works for me, to be centered and to be one. Because God is not in the future. God is not in my past. God is right where I am at this very moment at all times. You know, the past can't hurt me, and the future has not arrived yet. So this is it right here. And that vision I saw about the world burning, in the very second one I had, he said, that is optional. That can change if the people change, if we grow up. And I keep getting the message. It says, awaken the people, awaken my children, because everything is here for us if we wake up and we see that love is the answer. That's it. That is the root cause of all. This is the root cause of all my near-death experience, was to show me love is the key. To love each other like God loves us. You know, and Jesus spread this word way back when. Now it's time for us to spread it all ourselves, to show the world that this is it. We can change the world. Each and every one of us can become, we're gods of our own making, because we're created in God's image, each and every one of us. So we have the opportunity to do this, to love ourselves as much as we love the world, and love the world the same way. It's easy to love everybody in this room if you learn how to truly love thyself and be one with God. It takes work, but every step is worth it. And you don't need to have an near-death experience to do this. It's out there for every person in the world to to be together. I don't know if I spoke over it or not. So I've learned from being here, that I have learned how to love each and every one of you, because you're all connected. And I didn't realize that until I got here. It's really interesting how the universe works. It's awesome. Thank you.